Everyone is lying. Well, to be more specific, everyone is hiding something. What actually happened in Khaenri'ah? What's he planning? And can we believe anyone in this game anymore? It starts right now. So throughout the Archon Quest, Dainsleif attributes the fall of Khaenri'ah to the gods. And we're told that the fallout of Khaenri'ah created the Abyss Order. Now, how much of it is actually true? From my past videos, I theorized that the Divine has the capability to push the reset button on humanity. But there's a clear distinction here. Advancement of human technology does not trigger this reset button inside Genshin Impact. This reset is triggered when humans get too close to uncovering the truth of divinity. To give you an idea of what I mean, if the technological advancement was the reason, Khaenri'ah would have been destroyed years ago. During the Archon Quest, we are told that the Ruin Guards originated from Khaenri'ah. But how far back does it actually go? Guizhong, the god of dust, wanted to study the Ruin Guards' ancient technology. So she trapped them inside a domain that we end up entering throughout our gameplay. These Ruin Guards and Hunters were obviously trapped here before Guizhong actually died thousands of years ago. With that said, if technological advances wasn't the trigger to the destruction of Khaenri'ah, who triggered it? Before I explain, there are a couple points that we have to understand. It is my theory that Hilichurls and Abyss Order originate from two separate sources. According to the archives, Hilichurls existed well before the Cataclysm. It is my opinion that whenever the Divine pushes the reset button on humanity, the humans turn into Hilichurls that we know today. But what about the Abyss Order? According to the Archon Quest, the Abyss Order originated from Khaenri'ah. And in that quest, there is a peculiar dialogue between the two siblings and Dainsleif. Dainsleif failed to prevent the destruction of Khaenri'ah. He watched the people he was supposed to protect turn into monsters of the Abyss. Interestingly, nowhere in this dialogue does our sibling mention about the gods turning humans into the monsters of the Abyss or the gods causing the destruction of Khaenri'ah. But still, Dainsleif attributes the fall of Khaenri'ah to the gods. Why? The alchemist known as Gold was corrupted by their own greed and ambition and created an army of shadowy monsters with their uncanny powers. Due to greed and ambition, possibly to uncover the truth behind this world, Gold caused the initial trigger which took down Khaenri'ah from within. Dainsleif, being one of the royal guards of Khaenri'ah, ultimately fails to prevent this internal conflict. In turn, he was cursed with immortality, probably by Gold. Now, in a very roundabout way, there is some merit on why Dainsleif blames the gods for this to begin with. None of this would have happened if the gods were being honest from the start anyway. Now, obviously, when humans figure it out, the gods press the reset button. Humans turn into Hilichurls, and the cycle repeats itself. So long story short, out of greed and ambition, Gold creates monsters of the Abyss Order, using the humans in Khaenri'ah, with the purpose of finding the truth hidden by the gods. Dainsleif fails to protect Khaenri'ah and is unable to stop Gold, which explains his hatred towards the Abyss Order. And afterwards, the gods press the reset button due to Gold approaching the truth, and the remaining humans of Eclipse Dynasty turns into Hilichurls. And to Dainsleif, no matter how it happened, it really just boils down to the gods lying anyway. Now, with that said, there is another reason why I think Gold is the cause of all this. For a while, I suspected that Lumine of the Abyss Order was not really the boss of the Abyss, but there weren't enough clues and a direct indicator for me to prove this. Then at the end of the Archon Quest, just to make my life easier, MiHoYo drops a subtle foreshadowing. Paimon says, "Still, we don't know for sure if our sibling is the highest ranking leader in the organization." This dialogue alone gives me more of an incentive to say that Gold, who is probably still alive, is the king or the queen of the Abyss Order. Our sibling obviously being the prince or the princess. So if this is all true, this explains Dainsleif's position rather well. But what is he planning, and why does he ask us to defeat him inside the trailer? When we initially met Dainsleif under the pretext of hiring him for commission, he sets a few conditions. 3 questions, 500 Mora. The 3 questions are very cryptic in a sense, but ultimately attributes to how we feel towards humans and deities. In essence, it doesn't even really matter because Dainsleif himself says the answers say nothing about right and wrong. Regardless of our answers, he accepts our commission anyway because we are looking for our sibling, which is associated with the Abyss Order. The bigger question is, why in the world does he ask for 500 Mora exactly? After researching for many hours, I uncovered 3 things in the game that is associated with the number 500. The 3 things are the Cataclysm that happened 500 years ago, Stellar Reunion Returnee Quest that rewards you a prototype ranker for reaching 500 points, and lastly, forging a weapon cost 500 Mora exactly. Now in the beginning I wasn't sure what to make of this. The whole 500 years ago thing felt too obvious to find any real meaning, considering Dainsleif was asking for Mora, so instead I researched more into the weapons that we can craft. If you remember, from the very beginning of Dainsleif's Archon Quest, we find out that Dainsleif is looking for a particular crafting material, something that Wagner in Mondstadt has no knowledge of. Initially, I thought it was the Star Silver ore from Dragonspine, but I felt it didn't make sense. We literally craft items using Star Silvers from Wagner. So instead, I searched for answers from the prototype weapons. Long story short, prototype weapons originated from the Black Cliff Forge in Liyue after the Cataclysm. Interestingly, the prototype amber was believed to bring forth primordial cosmic energy, and this catalyst was secretly guarded within the forge for reasons unknown. Regardless, after these prototypes were created, the person who created the blueprints for these weapons wanted to enhance these weapons with better forging materials. Using the Black Cliff crystals, which are known to be found in the depths of the chasm, he creates the Black Cliff weapon series. Interestingly, it would make sense that this Black Cliff crystal is unknown to Wagner in Mondstadt. The whole idea of 500 Mora being an exact number for forging a weapon in this game suggests to me that Dainsleif is looking to forge a specific weapon, perhaps by using a specific material. But for what reason? To kill everything. Now that might sound like I'm jumping the gun here, but consider this idea. Dainsleif completely despises the Abyss. If what I speculate about gold being the cause of the downfall, and gold is currently the true leader of the Abyss, this could be the unfinished business that Dainsleif wants to accomplish. And whether Lumine was Dainsleif's traveling companion or not, due to this hatred towards the Abyss and the current situation, Dainsleif wants the Abyss Order to be decimated and ended. So what's the only thing that would stop him? Our main character. Whatever Dainsleif's goals are and how he thinks about this world, we need to stop Dainsleif if we are to rescue our sibling from not only Dainsleif but the Abyss as well. He even suggests that he wants us to defeat him to show that our cause is worthier than his. So amidst all this ridiculous, entangled, intertwined destiny of every faction and characters in this game, who is right and who is wrong? To be honest, ever since we started the game, I don't think this is something that can be answered. Within many references that Genshin Impact takes from the real world, there is a very important concept that is continuously mentioned in the game. Under the teachings of Gnosticism, which Genshin Impact takes a lot of references from, there is a specific concept of syzygy that derives from the Valentinian traditions. The simplest way to describe it would be male and female. There is no light without darkness, or simply life and death. Now within this concept, the whole idea is that the two opposite is not considered right or wrong, but by the union of the two, we get the full understanding and in essence, enlightenment. Now why do I bring this up for Genshin Impact? As mentioned in my previous video, in Gnosticism, the true god or monad felt bad by the fabricated nature of the world and its lies. To help humanity, this true god sends male and female pair called the syzygy. The whole purpose is to guide and shed the light onto humanity so that they can achieve the true knowledge and true divinity. So with that concept and the unification of the two opposites in mind, our sibling already traveled through the world of Genshin Impact and knows the truth. We are suggested to do the same, not only by our sibling, but by Dainsleif as well. And once we uncover the truth, we will reunite at the final doorway to make a decision to change the nature of all things inside this world. So the whole idea of who's right and wrong, who's good and evil, doesn't really exist in this game. Literally, everyone in this game is doing what they believe under their own circumstances, and as Dainsleif said, it's not about right or wrong, just a difference in attitude. Because remember, this is just a theory.